Hi again. Okay, so let's do these couple practice problems that I gave you. Okay, so our first step is to find the first derivative. So we have 3x squared minus 27. Set it equal to 0. And I'm going to solve it. I'm going to factor out, let's see. Did I write that right? Yes. Okay. Well, I can divide everything by 3 or factor out a 3 or whatever you want. That gives you x squared minus 9. So 0 is 3, x plus 3, x minus 3. Remember, difference of perfect squares. So this times this equals 0. Somebody has to equal 0. Well, 3 is never going to equal 0. But this could. So if x plus 3 equals 0, that means x is negative 3. If x minus 3 equals 0, that means x is positive 3. Okay, but I don't know, like, I don't look at this and say this is the minimum, this is the maximum. It's the function value that determines that. So I have to find f at negative 3. Remember your parentheses, okay? Doesn't really matter when you have odd exponents, but. Okay. So this is to be negative 27 plus 81, I think. Okay, so that's 54. Okay, so this gives me negative 3, positive 54. Okay, then I need to find f of positive 3. So that'll be 3 to the third minus 27 times 3. So that gives me 27 minus 81. So that's going to be negative 54. So from this I have 3 negative 54. Now, that's when I determine max and min. This one's the higher of the two, so that's our max, that's our min. Okay, so let me write this up here. Okay, so f of x, x cubed minus 27x. F prime of x is 3x squared minus 27. And I have negative 3, 54. That's our max. And I have positive 3, negative 54. That's our min. Oops. So hopefully everybody got that part right. So now let's see about the inflection. Okay. So we get f double prime, which is just the derivative of f prime. So that gives me 6x. Remember, the derivative of a constant is just 0. So if I set this equal to 0, x equals 0. So I have to find f of 0. Well, 0 cubed is 0, 27 times 0 is 0, so the whole thing is 0. So possible inflection. Okay. So I'm going to take the x value, which is 0, make a little chart. We're going to take a look at what happens to f double prime when x is bigger than and when x is smaller than 0. Okay, so let's pick negative 1. Going to f double prime that I erased. So let's put that back here. Okay. Okay, so when x is a negative number, less than 0, the whole thing is negative. So that's going to be part of a downward curve. Okay, when x is bigger than 0, a positive number times a positive is going to be positive, so that's part of an upward curve. Okay, so my y value is going to be going pretty far. So let's just do this. Let's say this is 54. This will be negative 54. We're sketching, okay? We're not being draftsmen here. And 0, 0 is here. And my x is, I need negative 3. And I need a positive 3. So let's see how that's going to look. Look at these cool markers and magnets. The colored ones aren't good. Okay, so -3, positive 54. That's up here. 0, 0's here. And positive 3, negative 54 is down here. This tells me to the left of 0, 0, part of a downward curve. So we come up, we hit this, and we bounce back down. To the right is going to be part of an upward curve. So we go down, and we shoot back up. So, ta-da! Is that sort of what yours looks like? Probably a lot better looking than that. Okay, so let's take a look at the second one. So, did you guys know the first week of school is totally remote? I didn't know this. And, okay, they want everybody to all the students to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Or, for a week at home and then a week once you get to campus. Who's going to do that? What are you doing before you go away to college? Seeing your family, seeing your friends, going shopping, getting what you need. Just saying. All right, I'm going to quit griping now. Really. Maybe. I will. Okay. So the second one that I gave you to try is this guy. Okay, so I'll get the first derivative. So it's going to be 3x squared over 3. 3's are going to cancel. Minus 4x. Set it equal to 0. I can factor out an x. So this times this equals 0. Either this is 0 or this is 0. So either x is 0 or x minus 4 equals 0, which means x equals 4. So I have to find f at 0. That's going to be 0 and 0. And I have to find f at 4. So that's going to be 4 to the third, 64 over 3, minus 2 times 4 squared is 16. That's going to give me negative 10.7, just say. Okay, so here's our function. And here's our first derivative. And we have 0, 0. And we have 4, negative 10.7-ish. Okay, so looking at the y values, this is the max, and this is the min. Okay, so now let's see about the inflection. Okay, so get the second derivative. So that's pretty simple. Set that equal to 0. And you can just look at that and tell me x is 2, right? Because 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So x is equal to 2. And you have to find f of 2. So going up to the original function, you're going to have 2 to the third over 3 minus 2 times 2 squared. So that's 8 thirds minus 2 times 4. So 8 thirds minus 8. 5 something. Negative 5.3 inflection. Okay. Okay, so put the x value, and we're going to take a look and see what happens to f double prime when x is to the left or to the right of that value. So in your mind, pick something less than 2. I'm going to pick 0. Go to f double prime. If I put a 0 in here, that's 0 minus 4, that'd be negative. That means everything to the left of 2 is going to yield a negative. That's part of a downward curve. Pick something bigger than 2 in your mind, like say, I don't know, 3. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 4 is 2. That's positive. That tells me everything. That's bigger than 2 when I put it in for x, and f double prime is going to give me a positive number. So that's part of an upward. Okay, so I'm going to go from 0 to 4 for my x, from 0 to negative 10.7 for my y. So let's do it this way. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and let's just do this. Negative 10.7, and halfway between is negative 5.3. Okay, so 0, 0. Okay, 4, negative 10.7. Sorry about my art inabilities. And 2, negative 5.3. Okay, on this side, it forms a downward curve. So we go up, hit our local max, come down. This is going to form an upward curve, so we go down and back up. So hopefully that was pretty good. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to put some problems, because they're word problems, I'm going to put them on Canvas, okay? And then either you want to have, well, you probably don't have 2 computers. Maybe you can use your phone for one or something, or just jot them down. Because you're going to need to refer to it, because I just don't have the space to write the whole word problem and leave it up here while we solve it. Okay? So keep your eyes out for that. Your best bet, if you can, is to print it, or just, write down some kind of sloppy notes so you can refer to it while I solve them. Okay, so that's what's next. And then that's all we're going to have time to cover. Okay, later.